I'm gonna be a clown!
So I've been gone for 6 months, and while I wish I could say it's all been because of college, I gotta admit, taking an extended hiatus and focusing on other things was great. But now COVID-19 has me quarantined with nothing else to focus on, so I guess I'm back. Today I've got a bit of a different video in store. I recently just got my last art college decision back, and I thought I would make a video, or rather 2 videos, discussing what I submitted to each college and how that turned out for me. Just to clarify, I'll be splitting this video into 2 parts since it'll most likely already be running quite a bit longer than my other videos. In this portion, I'm going to talk about what my stats were throughout high school, and also my extracurriculars. The next video will be for my portfolio, or variety of portfolios I suppose. I really wanted to make this video soon so that prospective art college applicants would be able to see some of what art colleges are looking for in a student, and be able to prepare for applications. This isn't the end-all be-all of what you should aim to do. In fact, what helped me most was synthesizing information from multiple videos like this. Also, I think I need to quickly clear up specifically what majors and colleges I was looking into while applying. So I was looking to get into computer animation and or animation at Ringling, RISD, SVA, MICA, Pratt, Parsons, Bradley University, SAIC, SCAD, and DePaul. Anyways, without further ado, let's talk about my stats. Let's start with my high school GPA and classes. I had an unweighted GPA of 3.801 and a weighted GPA of 4.524. Looking back on this, I definitely could have done better. I think a lot of what high school is just doing your work and putting in the mileage. For the most part, I think classes are easy to get A's in as long as you don't slack. That being said, I slacked off during my freshman and sophomore year, and I ended up having a worse GPA because of it. I think especially during your first 2 years of high school, you should aim for all A's. It isn't terribly hard, and I think it does push your application ahead of others with equally good portfolios. I think a common misconception that prospective art students have is that grades don't matter, but that's not entirely true. While yes, the weight of your grades may vary depending on the schools you're applying to, they more often than not are taken into consideration. I think especially at the top-rated art schools, they can be the difference between an acceptance and a waitlist, or even a waitlist and rejection. This is the easy part of academia. Definitely try to get a good unweighted GPA. In terms of specific classes that I took, I would recommend going down either an AP or IB path as they do reflect better on you as a student since they are more rigorous classes. I would recommend taking either AP Studio Art or IB Studio Art as a senior, or even better, during your junior year of high school. These classes can really help you build your portfolio and get you into the mindset of creating thoughtful art. I also personally took a lot of non-advanced art classes at my school to get more familiar with different media. Ceramics, commercial advertising art, drawing, painting, I took nearly everything I could. I think that it allows you to be more comfortable with a variety of media, which can be really good to show off in your portfolio. Next up is standardized testing. I hate standardized testing, let me be clear. This isn't a test of your intelligence, it is a test of how well you are prepared to take the test. But just like with your GPA, many art colleges still look at and take these tests into consideration. As such, I think it's important to either take the SAT or the ACT. My state required me to take the SAT, and I just took it the one required time. For my SAT, I studied for about a week before. It really wasn't a lot of studying, and honestly, I probably should have studied more, but the difference it would have made would most likely have been marginal. I ended up getting a 1420 out of 1600 with composites of 740 in math and 680 in English. It's not a bad score all things considered. It's definitely above average for a lot of art schools according to niche. I think that standardized testing is something that again isn't wildly important, but it can set you apart from others who are similar in other ways to you. I would say to try to get at least 1200 for the SAT and a bit higher than the equivalent for the ACT. This will ensure that you're around the average for art school, which will at least allow you to stay on even ground with other applicants. If you're looking for tips and practice tests, definitely check out Khan Academy and Super Tutor TV on YouTube. I think this is the best way to improve. Look at tips and figure out what you're doing wrong during practice tests, and try to correct those mistakes before the real test. Also, I would suggest studying more than me. While I studied for a week and got a pretty good score, other people may have more trouble getting a 1420. Consider starting months ahead of the test date, and if you don't do well on your first try for the test, definitely take it again. Most colleges only look at your best score. Lastly, I wanted to talk about extracurricular activities that I took part in during high school. I think extracurricular activities are the main thing other than your portfolio that can really set you apart from other applicants. They're a way for your application reviewer to get to know you a bit more, and I think as such it's really important to take part in activities that you find engaging and enjoyable. I personally was a part of theater, D&D club, the Genders and Sexualities Alliance, Commercial Art Club, and Destination Imagination, just to name some. I didn't really have a lot of trouble finding clubs that interested me. In fact, it got to the point at times that I wasn't able to be in all the clubs that I had hoped to be because of my limited time and energy. I would really suggest having an open mind about clubs at your school and just give some a try and find some that you might enjoy being in throughout high school. I think one thing you should definitely consider is the amount of time and dedication you have to your clubs. I think being able to dedicate yourself to a club, whether this be by founding it or just putting large amounts of time into it, can really make you stand out more. I personally founded my school's D&D club, and I was heavily involved with Destination Imagination, a creative problem-solving skit-based competition. I think dedicating myself to these clubs not only made my Common App look a bit better, but I also learned from them, which helped me when I was writing my essays. I think that the clubs you should dedicate yourself to really need to be something you're passionate about. So whether they're a sport, theater, or something you start on your own, you really need to have a connection with it. Anyways, that was part 1 of my applications to art colleges. If you want to see the results of my applications, I'll be talking about them in my next video, where I'll also cover my portfolio. That'll be coming out soon, so subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when I upload it. If you really can't wait to hear about the decisions and you don't want to stick around for part 2, check the description. Before I leave you all today, I wanted to discuss COVID-19 briefly. I don't want to lecture you about how to stay safe in this trying time. I just wanted to take a second to remind everyone how we should be treating other people. I think COVID-19 has brought out a lot of bad in humanity, whether it be the disrespectful and irresponsible way some institutions are handling it, or the xenophobia that has spawned from the origins of it. I think we just need to remember to treat each other with respect and try to be decent people. Yes, this virus can be dangerous, but it can be just as harmful to treat people poorly as a result of the virus as it is to contract it. Recently, a lot of colleges have also been struggling to handle this situation well, and I think how they react to it is very telling of how they view their students and faculty. I suggest that everyone take a look at some of your prospective colleges to see how they might treat you given a situation like this occurs again. If you want to see more about what I have to say on this, please take a look at the description. Anyways, I don't want to go on for too much longer. I hope everyone has been staying safe during this crisis, and I hope you all found this video helpful. If you enjoyed this and want to watch some of my other videos while you're quarantined, I make primarily D&D content, so feel free to check that out if it interests you. Anyways, I hope you all have a great day.